Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Breast milk science. It's a thing, and it's our thing. We're ByHeart. We're an infant formula company on a mission to get a lot closer to the most superfood on the planet, breast milk. Our patented protein blend has more of the important and most abundant proteins found in breast milk. We're the first and only U.S.-made formula to use organic, grass-fed whole milk, not skim. We make our formula in our own factories in Iowa, Oregon, and Pennsylvania, using a small batch manufacturing process that works to preserve the integrity of our ingredients. We ran the largest clinical trial by a new infant formula company in 25 years and clinically proved benefits like easier digestion, less gas, and softer poops versus a leading infant formula. We were the first infant formula company to earn the Clean Label Project Purity Award. And while we've put a lot into ByHeart, there's a long list of things you won't see on our ingredient list, like no corn syrup, no maltodextrin, no GMO ingredients, no soy, no palm oil. ByHeart, a better formula for formula. Learn more at byheart.com.
Times of old, in times of new, there's a guide to follow to make it true. It's the pop culture field,
and welcome
to
the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast, sitting right at the intersection of weapons, action, the military, and pop culture. I'm your host, Cameron Fath, and with me, as always, is the extremely charismatic
Israel Wright. Thanks.
Yes.
It's good to be here. I realized that there's going to be one of these episodes that we did not introduce ourselves.
Yes.
So hopefully they know who we are by now.
I would hope so.
Yeah. Why are they listening to it? Like, oh, I listened to that one episode, but I didn't know their names. They didn't introduce themselves.
Yeah, the Pop Culture Field, whatever.
Never going there again.
No.
Dude, by the way, yesterday, side note, I was live streaming and I got rated by it was 300 plus people.
Really?
By some guy in the Ukraine.
The Ukraine?
Yeah. Or no, Czech Republic. Sorry, Ukrainians. Sorry, Czech Republicans. Czech Republic. And he didn't even speak English. I watched the end of his stream to see him lead up. He'll be like, Green Beret, Gameology, live stream. And so he sent his people over to me and they said, hey, he says hi, Dethane. Shout out to Dethane. Really cool. So anyway, just the word is spreading far and wide of the Cameron Fath and the Israel Wright Gameology videos.
That's cool, man. Yeah. It's always a pleasure to go back because I'm very egotistical, so I like to read the comments and I ignore the bad ones. But you guys just build us up and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's really great.
The feedback is great.
Yeah, we love it.
We love it.
Thanks for your support.
Absolutely. We wouldn't be here. Well, I mean, we'd definitely be here.
We would be here, but we wouldn't be people wouldn't know about us.
Yeah, they wouldn't know about us, but we'd definitely still be here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we wouldn't be here. God, we got existential right at the beginning.
Don't forget to tell your loved ones you love them because you don't know.
Well, listen, Cameron, another great episode. I'm really excited for this one. We're going to go over some of our favorite on-screen battles from pop culture. We got a lot of movie stuff here I'm looking at, especially movie stuff, a few television shows, but we're going over some of our favorite on-screen engagements, a lot of them are large-scale battles, a couple of smaller-scale ones that I got on here on the list, but it's just always great to see just the massive battles, man. The hundreds or even thousands groups going at each other and stuff like that.
Battle begin. Squawk!
Let them fight.
Yeah, honorable mention, role models.
Role models?
Battle, the LARPing scene battle where they dress up like Kiss and they go. It's that movie's classic. If you haven't seen Role Models, go after it.
You ever see that? It's a lower budget one, but it's Knights of Badassery.
It's got
Peter Dinklage in it.
No.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. But Knights of Badassery. Oh, I'm gonna get the name wrong. Peter Dinklage it's about a bunch of LARPers, and they actually unleash an actual demonic presence, and they have to really fight.
No. LARPing. That's actually one of the things that I want to do really bad. As far as like
live action,
real
LARPing is live action role playing.
Yeah, for those of you uncultured swine,
You
the ones with
Philistines.
girlfriends and stuff.
Yeah,
the
and
ones
careers.
that live normal lives. No, I want to do ye old LARPing because I
medieval.
participated in airsoft and I was doing with Milsom West and did that event. And that was super fun. But I want to do like the clashing of the metal on metal. I don't want BBs on BBs. I want metal on steel.
Boffer on
shields.
boffer sword.
Yeah,
I actually, fun bit of trivia. I grew up. Well, not really. I didn't really grow up. Well, as I was growing up, my sister was really into the SCA, the Society of Creative Anachronisms, and she was into kind of like the medieval period, where they would actually do what you're talking about. They would reenact, quote unquote, old wars, battles. Like from the war of whatever, like medieval battles and stuff. And they would have a certain force, certain forces going at each other, and they would go at each other. Man, they would just hit it. They had the armor. Yes. People make their own armor. People make their own weapons. It's all made out of wood and stuff. But it still hurt, man. People, it was pretty awesome.
How's the grass taste, little man? Have you seen that video? His shield bashes him, hits the ground. Oh, it's awesome. A
little bit of HEMA action. You ever see those competitions? HEMA?
Yeah,
HEMA stands for Historic European Martial Arts. It's kind of a resurgence or a renaissance.
The MMA of Renaissance.
Well, it's rediscovering old texts and documents from like the 14s, 15s, 1600s of old medieval martial arts styles. When we think martial arts, we think of Eastern, like, karate, and, all that kind of stuff, Taekwondo. But, they fought hand to hand in Europe, throughout the ages, and they kind of have rediscovered these documents and old pictures and fighting styles, and they try to recreate them, and they actually have competitions and stuff like that. Yeah. You can see there's I think History Channel has a couple of shows where they actually follow people around, and these big yoked dudes just going out and hitting each other, firefighters and, stuff like that.
That's cool.
On their off time. It's really fun. Well, let's get started, man. We got a bunch of great ones I'd like to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Since you're so excited, you started off.
I am excited. I'm going to go for the first one off the list. Actually, I'm going to skip down because I'm looking at one right now, and we got to talk about this one right off the bat. But it's the Battle of Helms Deep.
God damn it, man! I wanted to mention that,
dude. Hey, you talk away, man. I knew you'd be excited, so I wanted to skip right to that one.
Awesome.
Man.
Actually, The Two Towers is my favorite out of all three movies, despite the third one getting most of the awards. There's just something about the Battle of Helms Deep in the second one that is just so cool to me, and not to mention it's like over half the movie long.
It is. It's like 40 minutes long or something. One half of the movie is them getting there, and the other half is them fighting and being there. Yeah.
Toss me.
Gondor calls for aid. Yeah.
Toss me. You gotta toss me.
Yeah. The elves come in like the lead if they get there, it's hemmed in. So this is their last stand. There's no back door.
There is no. Their asses to a wall, and it's like it's this place or it's nothing.
Yep.
And the walls of Helm's Deep have never been breached.
That's right.
And they will not.
I love Theoden. King Theoden has all these amazing monologues, like these really deep, poetic, introspective, existential monologues.
It's quite inspiring. I like the guy statue when they first walk in the gate, and he's just got this giant hammer in his hands. It's like when you go to Ironforge in World of Warcraft, and there's this giant dwarf just with these hammers. I'm a big hammer man. I like the hammer time. But like hammers are the most brutal. Like Morningstar, any type of like swinging blunt trauma is just if you use that in war, you're a psychopath.
It's like a callback to like ye ancient times. Yeah, where it was just clubs. It's like a phantom metal
blades,
club.
No stabby things. Just wacky things.
No pew pew. No explode.
It's just let me club this. It's like it's finding mates. You club them over the head and you drag them into your cave.
That's
that from year one? He's like, just go club her, man. Go over there and club her.
I never saw that one, but we all know.
It's funny.
We all know about it. That imagery, the iconic imagery.
Kunk, drags her into cave. But anyways, back to Helm's Deep. Lord of the Rings has a very special place in my heart.
Oh, absolutely.
It is my all-time favorite trilogy. I'm so excited for this new TV series that's coming out. I'm extremely excited.
All right, cool, man. I'm skeptically optimistic.
Yes, I have very high hopes. I just have some little details. I pull out my list. It's a scroll. Goes up. Just have some little things I'm worried about.
I have a few issues.
Yeah, just a few issues that need to be addressed. The thing that made Lord of the Rings so great for me is the FX. Like it wasn't CGI. I mean, it was too, like the giant battles, but majority,
a lot of miniatures.
Yeah, a lot of miniatures, and the majority of it was, they would put hundreds of people in full costume.
Yep.
And in The Hobbit, which lost it, like The Hobbit lost it, good storyline, but just what did it for me is all the orcs were CGI.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, that's terrible. The thing that made it so cool was like it's a real person, real makeup, doing real things, and that's what made the movie so awesome.
Yeah, it almost gives it kind of a, I mean, obviously there's a lot of elements that go into it, almost like a timeless feel.
Yeah.
Like I will go back maybe every year, every other year, and watch the original trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, over again.
Yeah,
but
I do the same thing.
I can't say that I will ever watch the Hobbit series again.
Oh no. That was like a one and done. But I will if it's on. If it's on, it's on. I'll watch it. But straight up, every year I do the same thing. I have the box set, which is the extended cuts and the director's cuts, and I'll put in the extended versions and just splurge 12 hours.
Just waste it.
It's just wasted because I mean the extended stuff has so much cool things in it that you didn't see in the originals.
Cameron, what are some of your favorite moments from the Battle of Helms Deep? Like, why does it stick with you?
It sticks with me. So Legolas sliding down the staircase,
throwing the shield down,
shield, sending arrows. I think he sends like 3, and then at the bottom he shoots the guy in the chest and then pulls the arrow out of him. And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure he strikes him with the arrow first, pulls it out, then knocks it and shoots another guy with the arrow he just stabbed. So that's super badass. And then the scene when that one Uruk-hai is coming in with the torch and they're about to blow the wall.
The suicide bomber, the sapper.
Take him out!
Yeah,
and he shoots him like 4 times and they blow that wall, and that's how Aragorn ends up in the bottom.
I love what they do is that you can tell that this one was chosen because he has all the marks on him.
Yeah,
the different markings.
I mean, those were an upgraded Uruk-hai. That was like the top line of the Uruk-hai. So there was multiple characters that were wearing that. That was kind of like their warlords.
Okay.
Yeah, because once they go on once they get up the ladder, you can see they have different swords too. They have a double edge instead of the single edge, so they can take out like multiple people. Those are like their berserkers, pretty much.
Good little bit of lore there. I like that.
So, but yeah, after that, and then that kind of leads into my also favorite part about that is when Aragorn gets blasted off the wall into the water, and they start breaching the wall, and like they have everybody on line, and then they just start charging in, and all the spears are down, and Aragorn like hits the spear to the side, and they start going at it in that pond right there. That scene is amazing.
That's awesome, man.
So I could talk about that scene forever,
dude. No, man, I love it too. I just love the feeling of like, because the whole deal is like, there's this thread throughout the original trilogy of like the time of elves is over, the time of men, and like there's not a lot of hope in like humanity. There's not a lot of hope in mankind.
It's so diverse. They're separated, and that's like the first gleam of hope. Where like when they walk in, the guy's like, he's like, this is the last. The elves and men have not worked together in this long. Yep. He's like, we aim on changing that, and it's just like, yes.
Yeah, there's a little bit of hope there. That's some of my favorite moments are like some of the sad moments when like that one elf captain who marches his dudes in there and he's fighting and stuff, and he gets killed, and like Aragorn's like holding him there, you know. So it gets me every time, man. Yeah. I love the little competition that Legolas and Gimli have. Like that's 1, that's 2, and he's like, I'm at 19.
He's like, I'm at 19. He's like, God.
And then the third one, where he takes out the elephant warrior, the giant elephant, he's like, that still only counts as 1.
Still only counts as 1. Yeah, no, Gimli's awesome. And I thought Gimli was Sean Connery for so long. For some reason, I thought Gimli was Sean Connery for so long until I was like, that's not Sean Connery.
My favorite moment from the Helm's Deep battle is when they think that it's over, and he's like, let's do one last ride. Let's go ride out to meet them. Yeah. And Theoden King's like, he's like, yes, this will be the last ride of men, and they go out down the ramp, and they're fighting around, and then finally the morning sun comes Gandalf the White with the Riders of Rohan, Carl Urban, and they ride down the hill, and it's all.
It's awesome, dude. That battle is so epic. That brings me to a very fond memory when, like, I said it earlier, when Gimli's like, toss me. Yeah. He's like, what? He's like, I can't make the jump by myself. You gotta toss me. And him and Legolas just go, and they end up killing just like 50 to 60 orcs just fighting off the bridge. That's an awesome dude.
He's like, don't tell the elves.
He's like, don't tell the guy.
I love it.
Oh
man.
no, it was Aragon that tosses him.
Yeah, Aragon
he's
tosses.
Like,
He's like,
tell
are you
Aragon."
sure?
He's like, are you sure? He's like, okay. toss it."
Love it.
Yeah,
man.
that's a great movie. I'm gonna actually go and watch it after this. Yeah. All right, let's move on. We spent a good chunk of time. I mean, I could talk about the Lord of the Rings series all the
We'll
time.
have a whole episode on
A whole
the battles.
episode of Lord of the Ring battles and lore. Okay, since you picked that one, we have to talk about the Battle of Thermopylae
Yeah.
in 300.
Yeah, it's the famous. It's a real event.
Yes.
like the Persian armies are coming around. They're coming into the Greek Athens, all that kind of area.
Yeah, they're taking over.
Yeah, they're taking over, sweeping across the land, and
the only people to say "fuck no," Persian guy is Spartans.
Only 300, and Thermopylae is this place. It's like apparently like a narrow passage that not a lot of people could get through, so they just like clog it up with their body, their muscly, oily bodies,
oiled up bodies that spent months in preparation.
That's right. A lot of CrossFit.
A lot of CrossFit. Two a days.
That's right. Yeah.
The train up for that movie is ridiculous. It's Gerard Butler, right?
Gerard Butler,
King Leonidas.
Even like there's some people in there like Michael Fassbender's in there. I didn't recognize him at first,
because he's jacked.
Yeah, he's the guy that says, when the guy's like, we have so many arrows, our arrows are gonna blot out the sun. And he's like, well then we'll fight in the shade. Yeah.
Yes. Is that the guy with the eye patch?
No, the guy with the eye patch is the guy who played Faramir in the Lord of the Rings movie.
Yes.
He's in there, and he's the guy telling the story kind of after the fact.
Yeah.
You find out. But
Faramir, the jealous brother.
Yeah, there's something
You
about
didn't love me, Dad. Sorry.
Faramir will prove his worth. We're back to Lord of the Rings. We can't get away from
We
it.
can't get rid of it. But
It's like me with aliens.
Yeah, or Star Trek.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
nerd. But no, I love 300 just based off like it's a real. I mean, obviously, this isn't how it went down. They didn't attack them with like.
it's not a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah, they didn't attack them with like the multitude of different calibers of warriors, just like these beasts, these mythical beasts coming at them. But I thought the movie was super entertaining, and I love the fact that like Spartans were the Soph of the
basically,
of that period.
They were just like this elite, very tight knit warrior, like warrior civilization or warrior nation, And I love that they that it's only 300. It's just something about the overwhelming odds battles, like almost like the suicide mission, that even adds this kind of weight to it because they know they're going to die.
Yeah, they know.
All they have to do is, and I think historically all they had to do was like hold them off for a while.
Yeah, before the rest of
so the rest of the nations could rally, and then there was even I think they featured it loosely in the second 300 movie, the Rise of an Empire, where there's a sea battle that was even more pivotal. Yeah, that's not featured in the movie 300, but yeah, and actually I actually read this one. There was actually a book about the same event called The Gates of Fire by Stephen Pressfield, which is a really good. It's more grounded in like reality. It's not like oily, muscly dudes, Yeah. But it's that's cool because he tries to break down like what it's like actually fighting hand to hand with somebody, and like just the sights and the sounds and the smells of just like being in battle and the blood and the guts. It's really very graphically done, and I heard at the time there was a rumor that they were trying to make who was it? George Clooney was trying to produce a movie based on the book Gates of Fire. Really? But I think maybe the studio decided to go like in a different direction, or maybe a different studio got there first and said, "Hey, we're going to do 300 like a comic book," because the comic book 300 is the movie based
is graphic novel.
Is a graphic novel. Yeah.
Yes.
I think Frank Miller. But I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that.
I will.
Because what do I know?
I will hold you accountable.
But yeah, man, it's these ancient battles. There's so many from like history that are just like you hear the circumstances and it almost doesn't seem like it actually happened, like it was real. But back then, man, you had an entire like the Spartans. Their whole life was war. They would train from a young age, and that was all they knew. And so they were really good. They were the best at
from
what they
a
did.
young age. They would train every single day. You saw in the beginning of the scene the kids just fighting each other, or
in the
when
Agoge
Leonidas was coming out and like he was just punching that other kid in the face in slow mo,
relentless.
Yeah, just nuts. And then he had to take out that wolf. In the corridor. But just
little foreshadowing.
The entire it's so interesting to me watching like ancient or just hearing about or reading about or researching about just ancient wars and like the strategy that was taken. It wasn't just a bunch of guys, with swords and shields whacking each other. It was like the entire positioning of their defense was all based off terrain analysis. Like, it was like they had, a giant ledge to the right of them, and they had a funnel that could not be taken around until they found that deformed guy. And he's like, I know a way around. They're like, okay. But just the amount of, thought and planning that went into that. I actually have an interesting fun fact right here. His name is Themistocles. Or something, I don't know how to pronounce this, but apparently he was the Greek defense against the Persian was planned by Themistocles. I don't know if I can know how to say his name.
Some Greek name.
Yeah, some Greek name. And,
we just lost all our Greek followers just now.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we'll tune in to,
You're a disgrace!
They're a disgrace! But that's super interesting.
That's cool, man.
It was, so his selection of the battlefield was pretty much paramount to the success. And that battle lasted about 3 days.
About 3 days. Wow.
3 days. And it also says here that the Persian numbers was in the thousands, like multiple thousands. So 300 versus multiple thousands.
Yep.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Absolute carnage.
I love it. I love you hear there's a lot of stories like that throughout military history of a small force defending a position against a much larger force, and through just smart tactics and just pure grit, they either overcome or they still die, but it takes like fighting force a long time to like take them over, or kill them, and then they're always remembered, you
will be remembered. That's one of the things. If you die, I'd rather die in a pile of brass than die on my knees like a coward.
That's right. Living on forever in song and movies, apparently.
In movies. Well, that is a great battle. I'm glad you mentioned that one.
Yeah. We got another one here. A super great one. And this is just there's a bunch from this movie that we could talk about. But the D-Day landing. The opening scene of Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, Omaha Beach.
Dude.
That's a gnarly opening scene. They did it so well.
So well. I remember seeing it. It was one of those ones that it was like one of those cinematic moments like, I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
There were even you hear stories about World War II veterans that had to leave the theater, or even just veterans in general that it so affected them, they couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
this might seem crazy in my head, but when I watched it, I had a grin on my face. And I was just like, this is it. This is how I want to die.
Just a sadistic
animal.
I
was like, this is how I want to die. This is what I want to be in. It's nuts.
Oh, man.
No, that scene was done so well. Steven Spielberg, I heard that it took about 3 weeks just to do
I believe it.
That scene, and I absolutely believe it because the accuracy of the guns, the bombers running on the beach.
Yep.
Probably
a lot of personal stories that they conglomerated. Maybe I guarantee because we got Tom Hanks, who's a big World War II fan. You got Steven Spielberg, and you got Dale Dye, who's a big time advisor for a lot of these older war movies.
And Steven Spielberg has military lineage that I was reading on. His father was in World War II.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
So I think that was one of his. Let me confirm that, but I'm pretty sure when I was doing my research about it earlier. Yeah, tell us in the comments. But I'm pretty sure his father was involved in World War II, so that kind of held a special place in his heart.
Wow.
But yeah, the only thing about this scene, even though it's so well done, and the MG-42s are rocking from the bunkers, and they're trying to Bangalore the obstacles on the beach. They're breaching a mind wire obstacle, right? And if you want to know how to do that, there's an acronym called SOSRA. It's suppress, obscure, secure, reduce, assault. So if you follow that guidelines, you will breach anything, and it's cool.
What is that again?
Hello, Saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
It is suppress, obscure, secure, reduce, assault. It's pretty much you suppress the enemy, right? So it gives you freedom of maneuver.
Yep.
You obscure your position with smoke or IDF. So you basically mask your position, and then you get security on the breach, and then you reduce with either explosive breaching or mechanical breaching. So we would use Bangalore's or something called the Brazier Breach, which you would probably like because it's legit a cross.
Yeah.
So somebody's running on the battlefield with like this giant cross,
Amen
and they just put it on the razor wire or whatever the breach is, and it blows it to smithereens. And awesome, then man. Obviously assault. Once it's open, you get fucking clear breach, or go into your secondaries, and then you assault.
What was he saying? He said, "Look, I washed my hands for supper." Yeah. Remember they take a bunker and the guys they're trying to surrender. Yeah. Like, no.
He's like, what?
He said, "I washed for supper."
I washed for supper. That's awesome. Man. But yeah, the only thing about that movie is it kind of itched my head a little bit because you see, so the assault is there's Rangers involved.
Yeah,
obviously. So you can see the 2 diamonds on the back of their helmets, which was pretty much what made 2 diamonds famous for like 2nd Ranger Battalion. So if you see an orange diamond with a number in it, that is a Ranger like staple. That is like a unofficial official logo and mascot of all Ranger battalions.
Nice.
So the only thing was historically 2nd Ranger Battalion was responsible for Point du Hoc.
Okay.
So Point du Hoc was imperative to the success of the D-Day
and that was
landing.
kind of a pre-mission, right? That wasn't D-Day. That was like the day before?
It was very close.
Okay.
So D-Day wouldn't have happened if this didn't basically go down.
Because they had to took
out the guns that allowed the boats to get close. So about 200 men of DECO, the boys of DECO and 275 basically scaled these cliffs using ladders, and 200 men scaled, and about 90 made it up. But they were able to take out these howitzer guns that made the D-Day invasion possible. So, and that was 2nd Ranger Battalion. 5th Ranger Battalion was on the beach. Whoa. And that's where Rangers Lead the Way came from.
Okay.
General Norman D. Cota, I know some of us have heard me talk about this, but General Norman D. Cota was in charge of the conventional forces that were assaulting with 5th Ranger Battalion. And when 5th Ranger Battalion was assaulting, he's like, "Oh, who are you guys?" And he's like, "We're 5th Ranger Battalion." And he goes, "Oh, well, Rangers lead the way then. Keep it going." So that was 5th Ranger Battalion on the beach. So my confusion was I saw 2 diamonds on their helmets, not 5 diamonds. So I was like, okay, but if you guys know the reason behind that, please send me a message because I'm very curious. Or they just did a little bit of a mess up, and it's okay because the scene is amazing. Iconic scene.
Iconic.
Great.
What else we got, Cam? What else do you want to talk about?
This one's cool. This one's really cool. It's kind of real random in here, and I'm glad to hear. But Reign of Fire from 2002.
Oh yeah,
Dragons.
I wanted to get this one in here. This is my pick.
Oh, this is your pick?
Yeah, because it has to do with essentially a Halo team. Yeah, Halo jump.
Talk about the most unconventional way
to take out a dragon.
Hey, you know these things that fly and breathe fire and, fly?
We're going to
jump out of a plane
and fall strategically with metal net guns to try to take them out, It's so wazoo. It's so crazy, but I love it because you never really... So Reign of Fire movie 2002, Christian Bale, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey's character's iconic.
Yeah, iconic, man. Yeah. So England, dragons are back. They decimate society. It's in England, so Christian Bale's trying to survive. Matthew McConaughey shows up on a tank.
Down a tank
with a helicopter.
Ass head.
Yep. And he's a crazy man.
He's crazy.
And they got this strategy where they have Halo jumpers, and they
jump out of a helicopter.
They jump out of a helicopter. They go after the dragon
and
they try to take him out. And it does not go well.
No, they're like, we've taken really dragons out before. It is it's very creative.
Yeah.
Is it smart? No. But hell,
no.
You don't get anywhere by, remaining in your comfort zone.
Right, exactly.
Life begins at the end of your comfort zone.
Exactly. And they use strategy, they try to get the triangulation with like the radar posts out throughout the land, kind of see it in the air, give them, live action or, live real-time feed and stuff like that.
Tracking.
And it's just a really cool kind of interesting idea. One guy's being chased by the dragon, and the other dude are behind it, he gets chased so bad, that, he's not paying attention, and he just slams right into the ground.
Yeah,
he's just gone.
That's a terrible way to die.
Yeah, and then the other two, they fire their nets halfway through, and they get him, and they think it's real cloudy. They're falling for 5 minutes. They must have been 100,000 feet,
in the above the atmosphere.
They can see the curvature of the earth. That's what takes them, But
it's a Red Bull commercial.
Exactly. But the dragon gets loose, and then he turns around, he chomps one of the dudes, and then eventually the other guy he gets away, he makes it. But just an exciting, fun thing, not very practical, but I just had to put that in.
It's not like a tremendous battle, But I think just the creativity that went into that.
Not a big battle, but a very interesting, fun kind of idea.
It's definitely mentioned worthy. Now, if we want to go into big battle.
Yes.
Battle of the Bastards from Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, Season 6, Episode 9, Battle of the Bastards. This is Jon Snow and the Wildlings versus Ramsay Bolton and his army, who's actually taken over Winterfell, which is Jon Snow's like home, right?
Yeah.
Just for a little bit of background.
Yeah.
It's
epic.
A
grudge match.
It's a grudge match for sure because, Ramsay's got Rickon, which is Jon Snow's younger brother, and he uses him like as bait because they're saying
rip
like
his balls off.
No, he they've got they got to be smart because Ramsay's a smart guy. He's good at like getting into people's heads and stuff. So he's got Rickon. He makes Rickon run to Jon. Oh, it's like 300 meters.
Yeah, it's like
and he's
zigzag,
running, and
zigzag.
he's like throwing. Yeah, he's like
and he shoots
shooting
the
arrows.
bow and arrow.
And right at the last minute, he shoots an arrow, like hits him right in the throat before he gets to Jon. And then Jon just loses it, and then everybody has to go in and fight, but they're not well positioned. So it ends up being like kind of this, they get encircled, and there's dead bodies everywhere. And I just thought it was cool because the creators, they said, hey, we kind of took inspiration from a little bit of Battle of Cannae, I think, and then a little bit from the Civil War. Battle of Cannae was like this big engagement where I think it was the Romans were fighting against like wildlings or whatever, the Germanic tribes, and they end up getting encircled and just killed to a man,
Really?
Yeah. And then the other one, the Civil War, there was a story about so many people in this one battle, in this one area getting killed, that the bodies actually started piling up and becoming like an obstruction. And a barricade. And so they do that in the battle as they're getting encircled. There's bodies piling high, and Jon Snow almost gets like crushed, like and suffocated by these other men because they're just being crushed in. And you think they're done for, and then like at the last second, the Knights of the Vale come in, with Littlefinger and Sansa. Well, Sansa's inside, but Littlefinger comes in. He saves the day with the Knights of the Vale and stuff. So.
That entire series it has such a good way of making you hate somebody so much.
Oh yeah.
Perfect example, the little Prince boy,
Joffrey,
Prince Joffrey.
Yeah.
You're like, if you ever saw him on, how people by like the characters they play. Like for example, the Malfoy from Harry Potter.
Yep.
Will never be. Nobody knows his real name. They just know him as Malfoy.
Malfoy boy.
Exactly. And the Harry Potter, if you saw him on the street, or David Radcliffe, right? Mm-hmm. Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
He's Harry Potter. That's Harry Potter. His name's not Daniel.
That's got to be rough, man. I hear the guy who.
It's like Frodo.
Yeah.
He's Frodo.
He's Frodo.
He's nobody else.
Elijah Wood has had a career before and after,
Yeah.
But like
the
guy who played Joffrey, he doesn't even do acting anymore. Not because
he's been bullied to submission. That's why
I heard
wants to kill him.
Maybe that might be partly why, but he actually said that in an interview he just doesn't like acting. He doesn't like the lifestyle, the hours. So he just does whatever he uses that fat Game of Thrones cash and just lives his life.
Literally. So like I said, Ramsay too. He was kind of a low key actor because I looked into his background too. He wasn't well known, and then now he's just Ramsay.
He's Ramsay Bolton.
He's Ramsay, and everyone.
And that dude, like Joffrey made it through 2.5 seasons, right? Because he got killed in his own Red Wedding, or the Purple Wedding, maybe. Good. But then Ramsay, he came in around season 2 or 3. And he lived for a long time, and he did so much that you're just like, somebody kill him, and he gets it the best way possible,
It's good. But had to throw that battle in there. It's such a good one.
Dude.
Okay, well, we can talk about this some more, or we can talk about Avengers.
Oh, we got to talk about Avengers. But see, here's the thing. Which one do we talk about? We kind of got them both on here. My choice was the battle at Wakanda in Infinity War.
Oh, that's
right?
A good
when
one.
they're there to defend the Vision, and then they got the force fields, and then the aliens come in, Thanos' troops, and they start breaking through the force field. That epic battle. Mm-hmm. I chose that over than the last battle in Endgame, because they end up losing at the end, and Thanos ends up winning. It's just like it's just not enough, and you just love it so much because you expect them. From 10 years of building up this series, of course they're going to win, Thor comes in, bring me Thanos. He's got Stormbreaker and stuff. Like, we got this. It's so going to happen. And then at the end, he does the snap, man. Oh, it's so good, man. I just remember that feeling I had the first time I saw it. I got to go to a press screening, like a pre-screening. and to know like to have it ends so sadly with like the sad music, and you're like, dude, what is it's so good, man.
It's little Peter Parker just disappears in the fucking little fart in the wind.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a pretty gnarly. I just didn't understand. Like, there was a great battle, like an epic battle worth song and dance. But when they finally in the next movie, like where it catches up and they see Thor, and he's like just a hermit.
He's fat. He's fat
and like
Thor.
Yeah, no, not Thor. I meant Thanos. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, Thanos. Yeah.
Well, Fat Thor's there too.
Fat Thor. But,
yeah, Thanos is like just like a hermit. And he's like not powerful anymore, and I never understood why. It's just the gauntlet like was too powerful for him.
That was the farm that he had chosen to be at when he finally won. He's like, this is where I'm going to be. I'm going to live my life here, just be because I've done what I wanted to do. What he ends up doing is destroying the stones. He uses the stones to destroy the stones. That wrecks his arm and like totally like cripples him. So he's just like there, yeah. But he doesn't care anymore because he got what he wanted. He got his blip. He got his snap.
They're good. Those are so entertaining. It's like I don't look at them for like the filmmaking, but like just the banter it's just such an entertaining series.
Yeah, you want the one thing, especially the Russo brothers were really good at giving that fan service and also putting it within the structure of a good narrative, like a good story, because you want to see because it's a bunch of nerds sitting around like, who would win, Captain America or Iron Man, or who would win, Vision or Black Panther, you want to know. And so they do that for us, but they put it within a larger context of like, oh, there's this Wakanda Accords, and one guy, Captain America doesn't want to follow it, and stuff. But yeah, you wonder about that, and you see the little banter back and forth,
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. Where are you from? Brooklyn. Queens,
Yeah.
Now.
You know what it's time.
It's time.
You know what time it is.
You know it. You love it. Game time, baby.
It's game time, baby. All right, for this game, it's called Slangin' It. Me and Izzy don't know anything about this game. It's another controlled by Chris type of game.
Yeah, we got some phrases.
Hello.
Hey, Chris is back. Phrases. So, if I understand it, we have to find out it's a slang term, but is it a military slang or is it just some stuff that Chris came out?
I think it's a translator. It's like he's going to tell us a slang word, and we're going to try to translate.
It's not just general slang. That wouldn't make any sense.
Okay.
I'm not going on Urban Dictionary. I'm like, what's a rusty trombone?
Oh yeah, rusty trombone is where they blow in your butthole and they jack you off from behind.
Okay, anyway, I'm gonna say some phrases, and you have to tell me if it's real military slang or just some BS I made up.
Okay.
If it is military slang, you have to tell me what it means.
Okay.
What if it's something that you thought was military slang, and I'm just like, that's not real?
We'll find out.
Okay.
All right, so let's start. This is the warm-up one. All right, the first one, nut to butt.
Nut to butt is absolutely real.
Absolutely real.
What does it mean?
Real. It means when you're lining up, you get real close to the guy in front of you, behind you. Like they're trying to make space.
Yeah, you're condensing the line, so you get really close to each other.
Your testicles as close to his posterior as possible. I call it testicles to posterior.
Oh, that's the technical term. That is correct. That is all correct. Everything you guys said is correct.
Okay,
I'm very impressed.
Everything we say is correct.
Everything we say is accurate.
This next one, hanging jimmies.
Hanging jimmies. That's an interesting one. Hanging jimmies. It either means.
Well, is it real or is it fake?
I think it's real.
It sounds fake to me. It's not familiar to me, but I can guess what it might mean.
Take your underwear off. That's what I say. Let the jimmies hang.
I was gonna say if you're a bunch of dudes standing around naked, maybe.
Everybody
as might happen in the military.
Or it's like you're barefoot. Take your shoes off. So hanging jimmies. Your toes are your jimmies.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I see. But or is it real or is it fake?
Are you guessing real or fake?
I'm guessing it's real.
I'm guessing fake.
It's fake.
Okay.
I made it up.
I win forever.
But a possible meaning is doing pull-ups or an alternate name for going commando.
Okay. Hanging Jimmy. Okay. That makes sense.
I like it. Very clever.
Very clever.
Okay. Right, next one. Soup sandwich.
Soup sandwich. That is a real term.
Yeah, I think it's a real term.
Yeah, it's because, could you imagine, it means a complete mess. If I call something a soup sandwich, it's a complete mess. Because imagine if you have a sandwich made of soup, that would be really hard.
It's all over the place. You can't hold on to it. It's just everywhere.
That is a real term, and it means a complete mess.
That is 100% accurate. Yes. Very good. I am impressed. Cam knows the slang.
I am the slang king. I talk in slang. Ubonics.
I'm thankful to be a part of an organization where old habits die hard and old slang lives forever. Because like I'm sure guys back in the 60s and 70s were saying nut to butt, you know.
Yeah. It's part of that
Soup
lineage.
sandwich, yep.
Part of the lineage.
All right, the next one is unass the AO.
That is definitely real. Because
It
I've
sounds-
heard that phrase. I
Unass
remember.
this AO means clean this area of operation up. It looks like shit.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So
yep.
we'll go with real.
Messy, another kind of physically messy. Things are disorganized.
And it's not even in regards. The slang term is unass. It's not the AO because you can say unass anything. Unass this, unass that uniform, unass this
Exactly.
bathroom, unass the unass. So that's a real term.
That is a real term. You're 100% right now, Cam.
yeah.
Thanks. I'm gonna.
Wait, did you
actually
say-
no.
No,
I got.
I'm 100%
He's
right
100%.
now.
I got.
He's
I
like
got
batting
hanging.
like
I was hanging
75.
Jimmy over here.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Mr. Hanging Jimmy, Mr.
forgot
40
that
Mike,
you-
Mike Hanging
Yeah,
Jimmy.
40 Mike hanging Jimmy.
You hung your jimmies. Next one, Barney style.
Barney style is 100% a real term.
I am not familiar with this.
You've not Barney
No.
style.
Is that like getting friendly with each other?
Let me break this down, Barney style. You fucking moron.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
like making it
Yeah,
real simple
it's
terms.
Super. It's like dummy style because
Okay,
Barney's
Barney
like
style.
super young. It's like preschool. It's busting, yeah. Ooh. So that is 100% a real term, and you use it for people that aren't understanding a thing. When it's like, okay, let me break this down for you, Barney style.
All right.
Now, is that Barney like the dinosaur or Barney like Barney Fife from...
Barney the dinosaur.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure when I was reading it and I couldn't find
It's
out.
Barney the dinosaur because it's like preschool.
I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed that you know all these. Okay,
Of course.
the next one. Getting a shoe shine.
That sounds dirty.
Yeah.
I would say that's a fake one.
Yeah, that sounds fake.
We don't shine our shoes.
Well,
anymore.
I mean, obviously it's not referring to shoes, so it's just we're left to the imagination to what is
Yeah.
it referring to. I can't think of I've never heard that one, I don't think, in the military, so I'm going to say it's fake.
I'm gonna say that is fake as well.
It is so fake.
That is so fake.
That was. I felt like I was writing it and I was like, this isn't gonna pass.
This isn't gonna get him.
Not even you believed it.
Possible meaning: kissing ass or getting your ass chewed by a commanding officer.
Shoe shine.
He's really getting a shoe shine in
Really getting
there.
a shoe shine. I love how you come up with the definitions too.
I've-
You don't
yeah.
just come up with a phrase. You're like, that'll work.
Possible
Be like,
definition.
no, this would probably mean something like this.
Super deep. You're getting super deep,
part
and
of
I
the fun.
appreciate it.
It is. It's great.
All right, this next one, I'll be impressed if you get it. A blue falcon.
Blue Falcon that's an easy one.
Yeah,
That's
Blue Falcon.
I don't know. I wasn't in the military.
Really? Yeah, Blue Falcon means...
You have to say it.
Yeah, because I am the cursing one. A Blue Falcon is an acronym, so BF, it means buddy fucker. So if you get called a Blue Falcon, it means you're screwing people up.
You're screwing over the
you're
other
screwing over
guys.
other people, so
Yeah.
it's bad to be called a Blue Falcon.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You want to back your buddy's play. You want to be a battle buddy, right?
wanna
It's
be a
basic training kind
buddy!
of stuff. You want to help your guys out. You always want there's a great emphasis on team
Teamwork.
unity, teamwork, supporting yourself, supporting the guy next to you. And if you don't do that, if you're slacking off, if you're not
Yeah.
obeying the rules, if you make a mistake,
You're
Blue Falcon.
You're
Yeah.
Blue Falcon.
I'm so impressed. All right, and the last one is a turd slinger.
Turd Slinger, that's a real one. It's
Is
kind
that that lady at Starbucks? And
No, no. That's what they called me out there at AT when I was pooping out my butt,
Whoa.
like projectiling.
Super soaker.
Super soaker, yeah, it was not good. But a turd slinger is a real term.
myself
It's a real term, and it's kind of like a knuckle dragger.
Okay.
It's like a
dumb-
moron.
okay,
You're like a moron. Hey, you fucking turd slinger. It's like a monkey, pretty much. You know how they
Right.
throw their poop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you're primitive. You're a knuckle dragger. You're kind of a moron, and I'm gonna set my answer in for real.
It's fake. I made it up.
Really? I've literally used that term.
I mean,
So
you
it's
can
real
call
to
anyone a
Cameron.
turd
It's real to
slinger,
me.
but I couldn't find it anywhere.
Really? Okay, well I've used it. Hey, you turd
I'm
slinger.
surprised. I think probably any number of combination of words and insults have been used at some
yeah.
point in the military.
My made up meaning is a mess hall cook or a nickname for a plane making an airdrop.
Turd slinger.
Very original. Very original.
Wait on the
cool.
turd slinger.
Really? I mean, your limitations for military slang is the imagination.
Right.
So if you can come up with any amount, I like to go really preschool, and I think the more simpler the terms, like calling someone like a stupid head or calling them like a doo-doo brain, it hits hard. And it's like, hey, I also say jackahoon, which I don't know what that means.
Jackahoon.
Yeah, it's like jackals and.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm just like, you guys are running around like a bunch of jackahoons.
Like a black, or black, not a platoon. Not,
Excuse me.
Cut that out. A platoon of jackals.
A platoon
like a jackahoon. You know.
Yeah.
So.
I think you mix up the word platoon and jack, and you're just like black.
Yeah. That was just a brain fart.
Yeah.
Don't read too much into that.
Don't read too much into that one.
Well, thankfully, that's all the time we got for this one.
That was a good one.
We appreciate you all joining us for this episode of the podcast, folks. We release a new episode every Wednesday, and if you want to go over to our YouTube page, videos should be up every Friday, the same week of. We always got little extra bits for those that like to view it on YouTube, so like, subscribe, share that stuff out there.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you so much. And now, if you want to show us some love, if you want to come in contact with us, go to our Instagram page, PCFM Podcast, and then also you can write us some emails at pcfmpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to hang out with me a little bit more, I live stream on Twitch. You go to twitch.tv/myhappyself. Cameron?
And if any of you turd slingers want to check out my streetwear brand, Kick God Apparel, you can find us on Instagram at Kick God Apparel, or go on the website to check it out, www.kickgodapparel.com. Would really appreciate the support. And that is it. So long. Bon voyage.
We'll see you on the next one, team.
Absolutely. Cue music!